The information presented in this podcast is general. It is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. It should be never used to diagnose, prescribe medical or psychological conditions, or replace a physician. And it is not intended to prevent, treat, or cure such conditions or substitute for mental care, preventive health care, counseling, or therapy from or a physical or mental health professional. Thank you for listening and blessings. Have you ever wished to discover how to help your employees with their occupational stress in a mindful approach? What if there is a way to building a productive and supportive environment for your employees that leads you to influence the organizational culture positively? Well, this is your invitation to join us to Mindful Leader Talk, a podcast on the effects of mindfulness as a secular practice on occupational stress and organizational culture. Blessings and welcome to the Mindful Leader Talk podcast, Mindfully Coping with Occupational Stress. I am María Báez, an organizational leadership psychologist, consultant, trainer, coach, and a full-time magician. Did you know how to uncover habits to cope with occupational stress successfully? Stay here to find answers in today's podcast. General knowledge tells us that a habit is a settled or regular tendency, an automatic reaction to one specific event, or a routine practice made in a fraction of seconds. Studies confirm that the consistency of a habit becomes a behavioral pattern. A habit may form or shape human behavior. Therefore, the outcome in mood, emotions, anger, reactions, and relational transactions daily. Behavioral analysis psychologists have concluded that habits can be molded or replaced by positive ones when they are harmful to the individual. For instance, I wake up this morning. I give thanks for the beautiful day that awaits. When I open my eyes, the first thing that I see is a painting on the shelf with a colorful butterfly and the writing that says, "Enjoy life." Next, I go to the bathroom and at the same time, I brush my teeth. I look in the mirror to appreciate the beautiful, spectacular image reflected there. While preparing my coffee, I set up my favorite audiobook, The Circle of Fire Meditation. Upon arriving at my workstation, I create my safe space, a work environment creak of harmony and peace with oils, essential oils. Next, I greet my plants while I feed them. Finally, I do mindful movements for 10 minutes to conclude my daily routine of mindful habits. I set up that daily routine in order to set the intention for the day. This is a purposeful, mindful choice where I decide beforehand the day I wanted to have. I have heard it is easier saying than doing. In my experience, I know this is true, although it also makes sense the idea of if we keep doing what we always do, we will keep on getting what we always get. This tells me that something needs to change, and we must define and identify why we must change this pattern. Not just because we want. We should label the real reasons or consequences we will be paying if we do not do it now. These real reasons, three opposite habits things, will guide us when making the plan. They will be the opposite behavior or doings as the usual occurrence one. Not everything is lost. Suppose we commit to a goal daily by visualizing surprises to enhance ourselves by pulling out from those old, no healthy habits. There is no doubt we will become the master of our own mindful living at any time in any case. That's the reason I created a method called DML to save the day. DML stands for Define, Make a Plan, Live in It. Define comes from describing or identifying the harmful habit. And one tip to do it mindfulness is please remember to add your reason. Make a plan comes from write down the opposite you choose to change, the one you will commit from now on. Living in it is very important because when you live in it, you commit to your plan by logging your new habits day by day. As a reflective quote from John Kabat-Zinn's book, The Full Catastrophe Living, you only have a moment to live. And that quote says, "Oh, I have had my moments. And if I had to do it over again, I would have more of them. In fact, I would try to have nothing else, just moments, one after another, instead of living so many years ahead of each day." Amazing quote to reflect, isn't it? I like this quote because it made me to reflect on you only have a moment to live. I have learned through my own experience, and also wellness professionals mention that a daily routine of consciously established habits, it is a foundation for living the day in full consciousness, present, to live a mindful life. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening and staying tuned for the next episode, how to awaken the awareness of a night environment that make up your life. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please visit my website www.mbaezconsulting.com or send me an email to maria@mbaezconsulting.com. This is the Mindful Leader Talk, a podcast on the effects of mindfulness as a secular practice on occupational stress and organizational culture. Feel free to invite, to listen, or share this podcast. Stay in tune for all coming episodes to building profitable organizations driven by the well-being of their employees and therefore our society. In the meantime, please stay safe. Blessings.